guys, and welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well. I do realise it has been a very long time since I've been on here. I'm so sorry. I have just been quite busy with work and life and uni stuff, and just filming a video hasn't quite been the top priority. I always do say though, if you want to kind of see what I'm up to on more of a day-to-day basis, please go follow me on Instagram @_Manisha P. I post on there almost like every day, so that's usually where you'll see some updates. But anyway, back to this. What have I been up to? Well, the last thing I remember telling you was that I had an interview for Sheffield in December. So I went for my interview in December. I thought it went alright, not particularly well or that badly, just okay. I loved the city though, it was really lovely. And then when I came back, I went to India on holiday, and while I was there, I realised I got an interview for Bristol, which I was so happy with. I don't know how many of you know, but when I applied in year 13 and on my first gap year, both times I applied for Bristol, both times I got a rejection before interview. And Bristol I've always loved. I thought it was such a lovely, amazing city, and so getting an interview meant so much to me. And that was in December, and then about mid-January I got another interview for Southampton, which once again I was so happy with. Southampton is where I firmed when I applied about 2 years ago when I was in year 13, and I loved it so much. And so at that point I had heard back from all my unis. Hull York I got a rejection almost instantly in November, and then the other 3 medical kind of unis I got interviews at, which for me was such a big high point, because I was like, I wasn't even going to take a gap year this time. I was just going to go off and do like biomed or biochem, or just do a separate course and kind of do something else. Taking a second gap year was never really an option, and at that point I was kind of like, oh okay, well it's kind of worked out so far, so fingers crossed. And that was January, and both Bristol and Southampton's interviews were the same week in February. So Skipville was February, and I had my Southampton interview on the Monday. So I got there the day before. I stayed with a friend who's a second year medic, loved it. It was really good to be with her, really relaxing. And the interview itself, so it's a panel interview at Southampton, and I think that's like my favourite kind of style I figured out. And I have to say, in terms of any interview I've ever done, uni, job, school, anything, it was, I personally think, the best interview I've given. I felt so relaxed, and I really do enjoy having that kind of 20 minutes to really, you know, let them get them to like understand who you are and what you've done and why you want to do the course. And I just feel so much more relaxed in that situation. And both parts of that and the group task I felt went well, and so I was so happy with that interview. And then I came back home for about a day, and then the day after I went to Bristol. And I went to Bristol on my own, and unfortunately when I was on my way there I checked my emails and I got a reply from Sheffield, and I was put on the wait list. And that basically means they're like, call up in August and we'll see if there's a place for you, you know, when you have your grades. And I won't lie, I was totally like just devastated. My heart was never in Sheffield. Of course I love the city and the uni's great, but I wasn't like, I want to go here. It was more, if there's a place I'll go kind of thing. And even still I was so upset, and I didn't tell anyone. I kind of kept it to myself. I was just on that train reading it, and it was just like a blow. Like it felt like a blow to my chest, like a blow of, oh, like I've tried so hard for the last 2 years, and this is the, like, why does it feel like I'm like being spat out every single time? But you know, anyway, I went to Bristol and I stayed with a different friend, and you know, I love the city, and I haven't been back since, you know, I went for an open day in year 13, and then when I went for my interview, it was really lovely. It's such a beautiful place, and it's similar to London but just not quite as busy, which is quite nice. And in terms of the interview, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it went that great. I really didn't. There were MMIs, so some stations I was like, cool, great, loved it. Other stations, I sat there, and I think it's because I had Sheffield at the back of my mind. I was a bit nervous and a bit, I don't know, I don't think I had like that spark that I usually have. Like I didn't have that self-belief because I was feeling so dejected after that kind of news. And so, you know, after the interview I was a bit like, I don't really know how that went. And after it I only told people on Instagram and friends and family about Sheffield. And I went back to my friends like room, and she wasn't there. She was doing some lectures after my Bristol interview, and I just cried because it was like a cry about Sheffield, a cry about how that interview had just went, and I was just a bit like, ugh. Like, it was just a bit like, what's the point? Like, why am I doing this to myself? I have given this thing everything, and I feel like it's just breaking me. And if you go, I think if you follow me on Instagram, you see, I think I put a story about it, and it's me just being super frustrated and upset. And yeah, and that was about just over a month ago, it's about 5 weeks ago that all of that drama happened. And ever since then, like most people, I've just been checking my emails every 2 seconds, searching and searching. Have I got anything? Have there been any updates? And just it's that mix of like slight excitement, but also real fear and nervous and just anxious because you don't want any bad news. And about 3 weeks ago, I was tutoring, I had 2 girls on my side, and we were working with both of them, and I happened to check my email. And it was that whole, there's been a change to your track. And I was like, okay. And it's so annoying because it took me about half an hour to log on because I completely forgot what my password was. And by that time I did log on, everyone had like gone, they were clearing up. And I scrolled down on my UCAS and it said, congratulations, you've got an offer for Bristol. And I cannot tell you, like, I had to reread it, and it said unconditional. When I was reading it, it took me about 5-10 seconds to really kind of clock what every word meant. And it was like pieces of a puzzle being like, right, that says that, unconditional offer, Bristol. And then it kind of slotted in. I was like, and I just ran, and there's a lady called Louise who I work with, and she's known me since the beginning of my first gap year, and she knows just how difficult it's been. And I just jumped up and I was like, I got in, I've got a place at Bristol. And she just hugged me, and I was so happy. Sent it to my family, and it was amazing. I put it on Instagram. I had like 300 of you guys send me messages being like, well done. Like, I put a screenshot of it on my Instagram as a post. It has over 1,000 likes. It's crazy. And it was so strange. It was so surreal. That entire night I was like, don't know what's going on. And if you go on my Instagram highlights, there's a little one saying Bristol with like a sad, like crying emoji. And it's basically videos of me sitting here like looking at the phone being like, I don't understand how this is happening. And it was crazy because the next few days, every time I saw friends and family, they'll be like, hey, well done. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I got a place. I completely just forgot. And I didn't firm it. I wanted to wait till I heard back from Southampton. And about, what day is it? Today's Thursday, so maybe 3 days ago. I can't remember, was it this week? A few days ago, I was sat there on my bed, and it said, I got an email being like, change to your track. And I knew the only uni I hadn't heard back from was Southampton. So it had to be something about Southampton. And I refreshed it and logged in and all that. And it said, congratulations, you have an offer for Southampton. And I was so happy. I won't lie, I wasn't as happy as when I heard back from Bristol, because of Bristol I've just been relaxed for the last few weeks. Like, I haven't had that burden and pressure and stress on my shoulders. It's kind of been more of a case of, I'm just curious to know what they said. And also I think because the interview went so well in my mind, I was like I didn't think I was certain I'll get a place, but I was like, I'm more kind of, I think I might, but I'm not too sure. But I got a place as well, and I was so happy. It was weird. It was just like a whole complete circle, and just like, here we are, back again. And at first lots of people were asking, where are you going to firm? You've got 2 amazing places. And I was like, I'll give it a few days. And then by the time I got back, you know, by the end of the day, I was speaking to my mum, and we both were like, I think we know where I want to go. And it's been Bristol. And so I firmed it. And you know, in terms of why, both of them, like I said, brilliant uni. Southampton I chose 2 years ago, and I was so happy with it. And I would be happy to choose it this year. It's just a case of Bristol, when I first went for the open day in year 13, I loved it. And in terms of like a city that I want to live for the next 5 years, I think that's where it is. I think that's where I want to be. And so, yeah, this September I'm going to be studying medicine in Bristol, which is crazy. It's really funny. I always find it strange how when I first made all these videos, I didn't ever expect it to take me 3 years, trust me. 3rd time lucky. You know, it's funny, I remember in year 13 thinking about what am I going to say in my results today when I say I got the grades. Obviously that didn't work out. Then last year I was like, great, how do I say to them I'm going to King's? Didn't work out. And finally I'm here. And I did it, and I got in, and it's weird. It still doesn't fit in. Some mornings I'm just kind of doing my stuff, then I go, I'm actually going to university. I'm actually doing what I wanted to do, and it's taken so long. And I think you guys know how long and how much it's taken from me. That's one thing I'm quite happy with, that over the last 3 years I've really kind of been like, this is a low point. This is something I'm really finding hard. Whether that be the exams, or like the loneliness, or just the, you know, stress from interviews. You know, all of the points are really tough. And I don't know, it's weird, I was thinking to myself, and I've thought a lot actually over the last few months, I don't actually regret not getting 3 A's in the first place. I don't regret not getting into Southampton or King's, because although, and I really want to emphasise, it's been tough and there have been so many points, and I can't stress enough how many points. Like last year results day, I was like, I wasn't even me, really. I remember I was doing NYT, a drama course, and I would spend all my time there because I didn't want to come back home and be faced with the reality that I wasn't going to uni that year. I would spend all my time at that drama course and, you know, go as early as possible, come back as late as possible, just so I didn't have to come back and be like, this is what I'm going to be doing. And, you know, I remember even September, I was set to go St. George's. I didn't want to go. It's a great uni, a great course, but my heart wasn't set in it. But I remember just being like, I will need to do something. I'll do anything to get out of this. And so, you know, I was enrolled, I was meant to go there. But in my heart, I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to try, I want to get it. I've got these grades, let's try again. And I can't say how happy I am that I've tried again, that I did it again. And it's amazing, you know, the messages that you guys have sent me on things like Instagram and Twitter and, you know, whatever. It's really, really amazing. You know, the amount of people, it's weird. I don't know, like people being like, oh, your perseverance, your determination, your resilience, and, you know, just your complete attitude to it all is really like inspiring or refreshing, or, you know, that kind of stuff. Thanks. I don't know, it's weird. It's that weird case of like along the way, I didn't mean to, but now I've got suddenly loads of people who are like, hey, we watched your videos for years and we're so proud of you. And I'm like, oh wow. But no, I am chuffed. I'm so happy. Yeah, I don't know. And you know, somebody messaged me being like, can you make a video about all of that and getting in, and like a little something for people applying. And I really do want to stress, absolutely stress, regardless of med or whatever you're doing in life, just if things don't go the way you've planned for them to go, don't freak out. Don't worry about it. And it's, you know, I remember in year 13, I was so against gap years. I was like anti-gap year queen. I would tell my friends, don't take a gap year, it's a waste of time. Look at me now, okay? I did 2 gap years. And my life isn't an utter mess. You know, I've been able to do really cool, fun stuff that I enjoy. I've been able to meet some amazing people. In June, I'm going volunteering for 3 months in Kenya with ICS and VSO. If you want to know more about that, go check out the link on my Insta bio. You know, that's something I would never imagine I think that's something that I don't think before in school I would have had the courage to do. But also practically I wouldn't have had the kind of time to do. Whereas on a gap year like this, where I've done my exams and I'm free to go in September, I can do something amazing like that and go volunteering and just really enjoy my life. And I've changed my little thing here, it says keep on dreaming, and I've got a few different things on my wall there. It says the best is yet to come, and that's kind of the quote I've lived by for the last few years. And I really kind of urge people who are, maybe you're resitting, maybe you're doing your normal A-levels but you're not sure it's going to go well and you're worried, please don't worry. It's not worth worrying. The tears are not worth it. Just believe in yourself, believe in what you want to do. And even if it doesn't go the way it's planned, it's alright, it's okay. There are different paths to get to what you want to do, and it's something I've only just learned really. And I'm happy it's worked out this way, I really am. But yeah, this is me saying I got in, I'm gonna be a doctor. What? It's weird, none of it's sunk in yet, and I'm incredibly happy, and thank you once again for all of the support. It's been amazing. Let me know, do you want to see vlogs in September? I don't know. They'll probably be like once every couple of months because I gotta focus, of course. But yeah, thank you, really, really thank you, huge thank you. The last few years have been tough, but your good lucks and we believe in you really, really do mean a lot, so thanks. And yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.